Hello students, I'm here to explain James Madison's genius polemic, Federalist number 10. I'm going to use a simple metaphor to help you understand this rather complicated essay. So remember, Madison's obsessed with this idea of factions. And for us, sugar is going to represent factions. Because a republic requires factions. Factions are just groups of people coming together under a common interest. And if you give people liberty, they're going to do this all the time. So those common interests might include religion, a profession, a political party. And Madison was afraid that if these groups dominated a smaller republic, that would lead to some really bad things. So he's trying to figure out, how do we deal with these factions? Yes, we need them because under liberty, they're going to arise, but we have to mitigate or weaken their negative impact on the country. So the first idea is democracy. Let's see how that works. Not so good. So remember, Madison was somewhat of an elitist. He didn't really believe in democracy. He associated democracy with Shays' Rebellion, with paper money, with redistribution of wealth. To these elitists, you couldn't trust the people to have a pure democracy, right? You needed some way to kind of control the population and have some barriers between their power and the people representing them. So pure democracy just does not work. His next idea is, what about small republics? What about a confederation of states where sovereignty lies within the states, what the United States was under the Articles of Confederation? Let's see if that tastes any better. Ugh, still doesn't work well. What he saw was, within a smaller state, a faction like tobacco planters in Virginia. They're just going to become too powerful and they're going to run the government, and them as a faction are going to become despotic and it's going to lead to tyranny. So he says small republics don't work. Madison was in the Virginia state legislature and he saw the ill effects of factions inside a small republic. So he says, how can we dilute these factions? What can weaken their overall power, even if we still keep them around? So he said, what about a larger republic? Why don't we create a United States of America that has a strong central government where most of the sovereignty lies within the central government? He didn't want to get rid of federalism, but he still wanted a much stronger central government and a United States of America that worked as a whole. Let's see how that works. Much better. So for Madison's argument, now the sugar is getting diluted. Now the factions are getting diluted. Those tobacco planters who had all that power in Virginia, when it comes to the overall federal government, they can get countered by other factions in other states. And therefore, no one faction will have too much power. So again, Madison's Federalist number 10, to simplify it, factions are going to happen eventually, but we have to mitigate or weaken their negative effects by diluting them in a larger republic.